What is going on, guys? I am switching scenes. All right. What's up? Hello, hello. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you guys are in the world. Another live stream, day number 3. We've done Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday live streamed continuously. So what's going on? Elliot Trades, what's up, man? That's cool. Jessica, how you going? Oh man, I need an Astro friend. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. BT, so excited. So am I. Yo, peanut butter. Limited edition 83. What is happening? Another Astro friend. Astro friend are these bulls, guys. If you see these 3D bulls, they're Astro friends. I've talked about them here and there. I am an investor, just watching the project grow. It's been fun. H&M, Rodwave, Sufyan, Medikey Holders Unite. Yes. What's up, Eugene? Big fan. Thank you, Jessica. Paul Neo. Nice name. Andrew, what's up? We have a cool episode today, guys. We're going to be going through some other big sales. We're going to be going through some Vive, or is it Veve? Vive, I'm going to call it Vive. From Ecomi, we'll be going through the NFT timeline again, and we're just going to have a bit of a conversation. I wanted to talk about a certain topic. I wanted to talk about flipping versus long-term investing and the pros and cons of both. I think there's a conversation to be had there. So I'll tell you guys what we're going to give away for today, and then we'll talk about this topic a little bit before I jump into the news and all that, right? So for the giveaway, which is the funnest part, in my opinion, let's go here. Let's open up this thing. I'm obviously a noob streamer, not prepared at all. We have a CURIO card. So I'm thinking of giving away a CURIO card. So CURIO cards, for those that don't know, giveaways are the best because giveaways allow me to explain what I'm giving away. Let me put this over here. Yep. So giveaways allow me to kind of explain a little bit about the project before I give them away, right? Because CURIO cards are basically an NFT project that predates CryptoPunks. Okay, so that's really important. If you check out the NFT timeline, right? If you check out the NFT timeline, which I'm covering, you can see this is a really cool website. So NFTtimeline.com. Forgot the person that made this. Let me see if I can shout him out somewhere. Hopefully he's got his name here somewhere. There he is. Crypto Graffiti. Nope, that's not who it is. But anyway, someone made this, and it's the most epic site. It's basically documented the timeline of NFT projects, and this is so important because timelines matter. The reason why CryptoPunks are worth what they are is because for 3 years people perceived them to be the very first NFTs on Ethereum. In fact, for a very long time, actually, people perceive them to be the very first NFTs ever, but they're not, because NFTs are really just basically art and tokens that are not fungible, so non-fungible tokens that exist on blockchains. So there was Rare Pepes. There was another one called Spells of Genesis, which I bought a couple of, which now are wrapped on Ethereum. But there's a couple that existed on the Bitcoin chain, and a fork of the Bitcoin chain. So anyway, there's all that stuff. But then Ethereum really blew it away. So with CryptoPunks being perceived as the first for a very long time, as you guys can see, before CryptoPunks, there's CURIO cards, there's Rare Pepes on Ethereum. There is this, which I don't know what that is. Yeah, like this guy's gone really deep with this stuff. And I think what's going to happen is that people will go through the rabbit hole of finding out what NFTs are, looking at CryptoPunks, then realizing there's more to CryptoPunks. There's, you know, digital land, there's digital art, all that sort of stuff, getting involved in all of that. Then diving even more deeper, as I did, and everyone else did, you know, after a year or so, then realizing that CryptoPunks weren't the first, that there is more previous to that. And CryptoPunks will continuously, I think for a very long time, CryptoPunks will continually be the OG of the NFT world. But there'll be a lot more awareness, in my opinion, of CURIO cards. So CURIO cards being the first, we're going to give some away. As you can see, they are not as expensive as punks. You can actually get them for 0.3 ETH, 0.6 ETH. In fact, when I got them literally 2 days ago or 3 days ago, there was 0.1 ETH for some of these. The difference in them are the scarcity. So some are more scarce than the others. Anyway, we're just going to give one away, all right? So I'm going to give away... Is there anyone we have a preference of? Let's give away this guy. Let's give away this guy. So this guy is Mad Bitcoins. Each one's done by a different artist. Mad Bitcoins. Let's give away this one. I like these ones because you can put them as your profile picture. So if CURIO cards blows up and it becomes a huge thing and there's a very limited amount of people that own these CURIO cards, then, you know, you can represent it as a profile picture. So let's give away this one. This one is called Mad Bitcoins. The way we give them away, as you guys know, is we have this. So the MetaKey just posted a link here for our Discord. I'm gonna pin it. And you can basically click that. It'll take you to the MetaKey Discord, which is this one right here. Okay, it's gonna take you to the MetaKey Discord, and you go over here to, oh my God, where is it? MetaKey General Directory. Where's the giveaways? Oh, there it is. So under the depths, I always get that confused. Under the depths is Maddie Stream giveaways, and all you got to do is click this giveaway button. That's it. Ping it, ping it, ping it, ping it more. Click that, and basically it's going to pick someone in 32 minutes, and whoever that winner is going to get a CURIO card. Okay, that's how we do it. Yeah, only click it once.
Otherwise, you'll unclick.
Yeah, so if you click it once, you click it. If you click it again, you'll unclick it. So don't do that. All right. So that is that. So another thing I wanted to talk to you guys is about flipping, right? And I think maybe we'll be able to pull up Pranksy's profile, because I think he did a tweet the other day, or maybe just recently, on flipping. Where is it? Where is it? After owning 1250 Bored Apes at launch, I have just one. Seeing the floor value surge again, I'm asking myself if I made a mistake. I could easily say yes. However, one thing I learned in 2017 is you spend life looking back and regretting you can't move forward. So Pranksy at a time had 1,250 Bored Apes, right? And if you know Pranksy, you know he loves to flip. He likes to get in and hype the project and sell, right? He likes to take a big position and sell that. He's basically a flipper or a trader, and you can make damn good money doing that. You can make really good money doing that. But sometimes you do it too early. So I think Pranksy also has like 4 to 5 punks left, crypto punks left. And in the early days, I think he had like maybe 100 plus, right? So again, he was flipping them. He made his money. He moved that capital onto something else. He made his money with Bored Apes, etc., etc. But looking at Bored Apes, if you look at the floor right now, it's insane. The floor right now for Bored Apes is 14 ETH or 14.5 ETH. I have no Bored Apes. I had CryptoPunks. I flipped them as well, so shame on me. But again, there's a conversation to be had to talk about whether with NFTs, do you flip them? Do you invest them? Right? What do you do and when? 1 second. I didn't even tweet this. Let me quickly tweet that I'm live. Hold that thought, guys. We will revisit it. Sorry, Michael, do you want to send me the link for it? I already did. 1 second, fam. We will be back. Live on YouTube. Boom. Awesome. Yeah. So do you flip or do you invest? Now, for the first 2 years of my life, sorry, not 2 years of my life, the 2 years of my NFT career, right, from 2018 to 2020, or 2018 plus 2019, and a bit of 2020, I was basically flipping Decentraland land, right? I started with, say, 20 lands or 10 lands. And the reason why I flipped is because every time I sold, I could buy more land. So the cool thing is you can, like, say you have something rare. So say, for example, you roll a rare Bored Ape, right? And it's you list it for sale for something ridiculously high because it's a rare one, and someone buys it, all right? Say someone buys it for 80 Ethereum. Holy shit, someone just bought a Bored Ape for 80 Ethereum. What do you do with that capital? Well, first of all, you made a lot of money. You can double down on Bored Apes if you want. So you can buy more Bored Apes. You can buy 3, 4. You can buy another rare one that's cheaply priced. You can negotiate with other people and use that capital to buy and then resell that for hopefully higher than that 80 ETH. So now you sell all those, you make 120 ETH. Then you double down and you spend more, and then you resell that and make 150 or 180 ETH. So flippers, especially sometimes those that stay with the same community or the same project with Decentraland, I went from 20 lands to owning 400 lands, basically with the same capital of buying and selling for 2 years. So flipping allows you to increase your kind of investment or your position in the same project, to a level where once it booms, you make a ton of money. So for example, if Pranksy had done, now there's no blame on him on selling this. You can never see the past or the future, and you never know what's going to happen. But imagine, like, hypothetically, you can always imagine, hypothetically, if he had sold his Bored Apes but kept buying more. So every time he sold with that capital, he kept buying more. Like, he'd sell a really rare one, he'd buy more Bored Apes. He'd be sitting on 1,500 plus or whatever he'd be sitting on. But again, you never know how big a project's going to get. This one obviously blew up. In my opinion, what I do these days is sometimes the ones that I hold, especially with art, right? So art is really interesting. We can jump into some art really quickly if I can find it. So this one, Xcopy art sold for 838,000 USD. Xcopy art is like one of the highest selling art in this day and age, right? I'll tell you a couple of flips of mine that went wrong in the sense of, I have regretted it. One of my biggest flips that I have regretted is this one. Good old FEWOCIOUS. Now, FEWO was one of the very first artists that I invested in. I remember buying 4 pieces, guys. I bought 4 pieces of FEWOs for $2,000 each, right? $2,000 to $3,000 each. So it was like $15,000 for 4 pieces. Now, this is before the art boom. And back here, somewhere here, like I used to own this one. I used to own this one, and I also used to own, I do own this one. So this one, I Flew Too Close to the Sun, is one that I still own. You can see here, DCL Blogger. And I also have the physical version of that, which is pretty big, and I love the physical version. Hopefully that's worth a lot of money one day, but it's kept nice and safe somewhere. And I own this one. So 1, 2, 3, the 4th one being the physical, so 4. So say I kind of got 4 pieces, but I basically bought all 3 of them for $2,000 to $3,000 each. Now, back when FEWOCIOUS was, before it really blew up, FEWOCIOUS was slowly starting to blow up, but the flipper in me sold both of these, right? I sold this one for 35 ETH. As you can see, I sold it for 35 ETH to this guy, Boo, who seems to have sold it to 888 OTC. So I got this, sold for 35 ETH, and pretty much about 2 to 4 weeks later, so I sold that for 35 ETH, and then FEWOCIOUS blew up, right? Again. And then I had this one listed by accident. I forgot to take the listing down, and it sold to Beanie for 55 ETH, right? Which back then was a decent amount of coin. It still is a decent amount of coin. But he flipped it for 195 ETH. Literally, that was 5 months ago, and he bought it from me 5 months ago. So I think like 4 days later, he literally sold it for 195 ETH. What I learned is some industries and some NFTs, you just do not do not flip. And art single edition pieces is one of them, right? Because historically, art just keeps getting more and more expensive. Now, unless you can do something better with that capital when you sell it, I personally, looking back, I would never have sold my FEWOCIOUS pieces. So that's why I currently, the FEWOCIOUS piece that I now own, the 101, I am going to keep for a very long time. But again, it's a kind of comparison against some of the, NFTs you do flip, some of those that you don't flip. Now, Bored Ape, sometimes you may flip it, and then maybe when Ethereum starts to moon again, this may come down. Maybe people start to sell it because it's just Ethereum goes to $10,000 maybe, and then you're sitting on $140,000. You'd want to sell it rather than keep it. Some people would want to do that, and that might bring the floor down. But so from what I do now is art. I collect the single editions and I hold them for a very long time. The multi editions, the open editions, some of them I flip them, but predominantly I keep them. Avatar NFTs like the Vogus, I have flipped. What I did with the Vogus is I had, as you guys know, I had 10 of them. So I had about 15. I sold 5 for about 6 ETH all up, which is pretty much my initial investment. And now I have what's left of my Vogus. Where are they? Here. I have these bad boys, which I will keep for a very long time. So what I've learned is that I take my positions. I may sell some to recoup some of my costs so I can redistribute that in other assets. And for the most part, I try and keep at least the very rare ones, because the very rare ones, the unique ones, tend to go for a ton of money. For example, the alien punks or the ape punks. If you have some of those and the project blows up, then those are the ones that make you millionaires, right? They're not the floor ones. The floor ones you can kind of sell here and there to recoup your costs back. But the really unicorn ones, so I got an offer here for 3.4 Ethereum, which is pretty good. I'm not going to take it though. I would have taken it if I was back to 100% flipping me, but I don't take them anymore. I kind of keep the unique ones. So anyway, just some thoughts on flipping versus unique. It's, sometimes you hold long term, some stuff you flip, but either way, sometimes you can grab very, very unique ones that are quite scarce. For example, this one I think is in the top 20 of the Vogus all up. So it's one of the most rare ones. And if Vogu becomes big, that might become big. So I'm going to keep that one. If I ever flip any, I'll flip the floor ones. See what I mean? So I think that's my strategy moving forward. Same thing with Curio cards, where I have a ton of Curio cards. A bunch of them are floors. So a bunch of these are floor priced Curio cards. I have another wallet where I've got the really expensive ones. So there's some Curio cards, and this is the last point I'll make before we move on to more stuff. But some Curio cards are quite rare, as you guys can see. This one over here, there's only 35 total that are wrapped and for sale on OpenSea, but I think there's like 250 or 500 all up in on curiocards.io or curiocards.com. But as you can see, these are much more rare than the other ones. And if these start to go for big numbers, which I'm pretty confident they will eventually, then these are the ones where I make the big money with. But I may sell the cheaper ones to recoup my costs on my investment in Curio cards, which I think I've spent about 120 ETH all up in just Curio cards. Okay, so that's my strategy kind of going forward when it comes to flipping and investing, is just kind of really hold on to these unique ones for really iconic projects or artists, and flip a little bit to recoup my cost with the other ones too, because you always need capital, you always need money, spare money. So if a new opportunity comes, you can do something. If you don't have capital and you're illiquid with just NFTs, then you can't do anything unless those sell. So you gotta keep selling some positions to stay liquid. It's the only way I can look at Curio cards and predict, have a assumption that it'll be big and then go for it. If I wasn't selling my NFTs, then I couldn't reinvest into Curio cards. I couldn't reinvest into Vogus and all this other stuff coming up. All right, guys, let's move on. We've talked a little bit too much on that topic. Vive collection. So Vive, again, I don't know how to pronounce it. Could be Veve, could be V. I'm going to just stick with Vive. But Vive, who is a product, a marketplace by the Ecomi project, who are now, I think, a multi-billion-dollar project. Where are they? Market cap $500 million. Okay, not multi-billion at the moment, but at some point they kind of reached. They reached what's that? 0.01 cent, and back here right now they're 0.02. So they were like 5x the current market cap. They were about $2 billion plus market cap. Is this the right Ecomi? I think it is. One sec. Yeah, it is, right? I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is. I don't know why it's starting from March. I was pretty confident it went on longer than March. That's weird. I don't know why this is only picking up March. But Ecomi are basically a licensing marketplace that bring licensed partners to their marketplace. So they've got a Spider-Man drop. So I believe this is the very first Spider-Man drop available. Anything to do with the Spider-Man license officially available as an NFT. So they've got the very first limited edition release, can be purchased, sold, and traded on the Ecomi platform or the Vive platform. They've got many, many, many more partnerships with Marvel, DC, all that sort of stuff. And this is the reason why their coin jumped quite high. Now, Vive, as far as I know, I don't think it's seen like the tens of millions of dollars worth of investment within the platform. Now, when they're dropping the first of these, this is the first time I personally have been invested. I'm like, okay, I haven't invested. I'm just saying interested. Spider-Man first dropping on Vive, that might be worth something. So I might take a look. The tweet says the date of it is the 7th of August, 8 a.m. I may participate in that. Let's take a look. And, you know, Spider-Man, obviously a massive IP. If Spider-Man go on to do big things, if any IP or brand or person, artist, project, whoever they may be, Coca-Cola recently sold an NFT for $500,000. If they revisit the NFT space and build a whole empire in the NFT space, the very first NFTs will always be worth a lot of money. They'll always be perceived as the iconic kind of OG NFT that you could have got before it blew up, right? It's all perception. So it'll be interesting to see how this performs. I'll be taking a look when it does come out. I'm interested to see how the coin got affected by the news. It looks like it hasn't moved much. Maybe there's just too much NFT interest right now. Now there's a little bit of commentary to be said about crypto personalities or personalities getting into NFTs who start off kind of making fun of the industry. Now, altcoin psycho, cool guy, I love following his profile, but he's kind of, you know, taking the piss out of the NFT space a little bit. Now, Linda said this. She said more people are going to start renting CryptoPunks to display as their profile pic for social signaling. Found out CryptoPunk.rent exists, where owners can sign a transaction giving the borrower right to display the CryptoPunk as their avatar for a fixed number of days. Now, I don't think there's going to be a rental market for CryptoPunks, guys. I think it's weird because it's kind of like renting a Ferrari in the real world and driving it around and getting those eyeballs. But people, people don't know you're renting it. They could think you're owning it. So it's kind of, for some people, it's cool to rent and drive around in a Ferrari for a day or two, just so you can get people's reactions. Now, in the digital world, if you were to put a punk as your profile picture, which anyone can do, you don't have to buy a punk to do that, but it's perceived when you do that you own the punk. Now, is it cool? Now, that's really cool, right? Owning a punk, putting it as your profile pic, it's a cool thing. It's like, holy shit, this guy has a punk, he's an OG, he's rich. Whatever status symbol it gives you in the digital world, it gives it to you. Now, renting a punk and putting it as your profile pic, are you going to tweet that? Are you going to say, I'm renting this punk for a day, I have rights to use it? Is that going to be a cool thing? I'm not sure. I'm not sure if it's cool to flex a rental CryptoPunk. I don't think it is. I think it might, people may rent it for different reasons. Maybe one day you'll be able to take these as avatars in Decentraland, or take them as avatars in other virtual worlds, maybe Facebook one day. I hope not. I hope Facebook crashes and burns. But basically, one day you may be able to take these CryptoPunks somewhere digital. So maybe then it makes sense to rent it, because maybe you want to be a CryptoPunk in that world, right? An official one. So at this current stage, I don't think it can be rented. It can be rented. I don't think it'll be popularized, but later on it might be. Now, Linda said that, and altcoin psycho said right click, save image. Now, I've seen every time NFTs have hit mainstream, especially in the crypto world, right? They all just say, why can't we just save this image? Why can't we just put this as our profile pic? Why can't we just do this and that? Right click, save image. Now, if you scroll up, check this out. You scroll up a couple of tweets. Time to buy my first NFT. 24 hours later. Time to buy my first NFT. Consider this a top signal. Strongly recommend exiting all your NFTs. Now, top signal, exiting your NFTs. That is very crypto trader talk. That's literally how I used to think NFTs were for a very long time. That's when I realized with some art you don't sell, with some, some iconic stuff you just don't sell. It's not really a top thing. It's not really you can't exit your positions that easily. There's illiquidity issues. But anyway, again, not like hating on Altcoin Psycho. I love his account. I actually follow him here and there. But I'm just saying that what happens is people make fun of the industry, and then they can't help but be drawn into the industry when they see their friends or people around them get more involved, whether that means make more art, whether that means make more money. You can't help but keep hearing it. And as more people convert to start experimenting with NFTs, these same people get into NFTs, and that's what creates the next wave. So it was interesting just for me to come across that tweet. The annoying thing about NFTs is some of these projects look so ridiculous. I can't tell when people are giving me genuine investment advice or just trolling me. That's so true, right? It takes some time to understand and navigate the NFT industry. It's an industry full of meme culture. It's an industry full of trolls and chilling, and there's some depth to it. There's some, there's not much depth to it. There's some scams to it. There's some, genuine projects to it. It takes some time to figure out. But once you do, you're in there deep. So I'm pretty confident, this new ripple effect that we're seeing, the new circle of people getting into NFTs, there's like Rookie XBT, I think recently bought a punk, and some people commented under him saying, that's a dumb decision, but that his ring of people, especially when they see that punks are going up in value, they're going to be like, wait a second, something interesting is going on here. I have to take a look. They realize how it works, and that's how they're going to get involved. So I feel like the next NFT wave is going to rocket us so hard. I think it's just going to do, it's going to take us to a level that we've never seen before. We did see obviously a $69 Beeple sale, but that was kind of just hit mainstream and dropped back a bit. We didn't really see the people around get involved. Now I think we're going to see the people that were paying attention to them. 3 to 4 months has passed. They'll get involved in the sense of understand the market and know what's happening instead of just reading the news. They'll be like, wait a second, why is this art popping up on my newsfeed again? Why are these punks popping up on my newsfeed again? And this ring, I think, will create the next wave. All right, timeline's gone by. Maker's Place. Maker's Place recently announced, I think this was literally in the last 24 hours, they announced a $30 million Series A to enable a vibrant future for digital creativity. Okay, so Maker's Place, obviously another NFT selling platform. They have announced $30 million. Their investors being Coinbase Ventures, Draper Dragon. So Draper Dragon is Tim Draper's investment labs. I don't know this one. Pantera, I'm pretty confident. I've heard that one before. Bessemer, I don't know who that one is. So Draper Dragon. You can tell one thing I like to look at is the amount of invested, the series. So Series A, for you, if you guys don't know, when projects raise money, right? The way it works in the VC world, or when you're raising money for a project, you say you built a project, you love the project, you haven't sold anything, then you do a raise. I think that's called a seed raise, right? It's a seed round where you have an idea, you raise maybe $1 million, you give away 10% of the equity, you own 90%, you give away 10% for that $1 million, and therefore your project's worth $10 million, right? You have $1 million, you build the project up really well, you get some sales, you get some traction, you hire a team, you put your product out there, you do a Series A round. So Series A, I believe, is the first ever round you do once you have your project out there and you have customers and you want to scale it. So a Series A, you do another equity raise. You've already given away 10%. You may give away another 10%. So now you own 80%. You've given away 10% at a $10 million valuation. The next time you do a round, maybe you give that the next 10% at a $50 million valuation. So you can now raise $5 million for the Series A, right? And the more and more you build your company, the higher the valuation of the company, the more you can raise when you give away that same amount of equity or less. So maybe they'll do a Series B when the company's worth $500 million. And again, if they raise 10% of that, or they give away 10% equity, that $500 million would be $50 million they'll get back for that 10% equity. So that's how companies kind of make money in this space, is that they grow a great project, they keep raising money, they keep giving away equity, and at some stage, maybe 10 years from now or 5 years from now, they sell the business at a few $100 million. They at that point own 60% of the business. They walk away with $180 million. Is that right? 60% of 300 million, yeah, $180 million, right? And their investors get the $120 million split between them. So this is interesting. You know, I have a venture fund that I've been investing with, and I'll go public with soon. And we invest in companies like this at different rounds. But this is how it works, right? We as investors, we help nurture these companies if they want our advice. Sometimes they don't. They grow really big, and they sell their positions, or one day they'll sell out, and they keep raising money at more valuations, and that's how VC funds make money. But this is great to see. It's great to see money come in. It's also great to see who it's coming in by. It's coming in by you know, early Bitcoin investors. Draper Dragon is Tim Draper, known for, I think, owning a big percentage of Bitcoin, which I believe he got from a not a garage sale. It was one of those. It was one of those things where they auctioned off like someone's left property or something, but he ended up getting a USB stick with Bitcoin in it or something like that. It was something weird. But anyway, he got Bitcoin at a great price, and now he owns. I believe he's a Bitcoin billionaire. And he's gone across and spread his capital around different places. It looks like he's starting to invest in NFT projects, which is great. The funding that comes in to build for these projects is what allows Maker's Place or Super Rare or whichever projects that get this funding to take it to the next level. You can imagine $30 million. You know, you can build a great team. You can build a new interface. You can have some more marketing. You can do big things, and that's how projects or industries get to the next level. And that's how VC firms or angel investors accelerate certain industries. All right, cool. That's really awesome. I'll let you guys read all this. Maker's Place has done really well. I think they've had some people sell art there. They've had Jose Del Bro sell art there. They're definitely quite integral to the NFT space. I think they've been running for the last 1 or 2 years, along with Super Rare and Known Origin, OpenSea, and a couple of others. So it is good to see them get that raise. Xcopy art again selling for $900K or $838,000. Usually when these big sales happen, there's a ripple effect, right? When big sales happen from Xcopy, obviously the common person cannot afford an $838,000 one-of-one Xcopy, but what they can afford sometimes, or at least for now, is the open editions. What happened there? Crypto art pulse.com. So this website is our website, and it's a feed. It's a feed of sales that happen in live time. So you can see every minute, 5 minutes, 8 minutes, there's a sale that happens across Nifty Gateway, OpenSea, Known Origin, Super Rare. Cool thing is that you can search Xcopy and you can see the art pieces selling. So when that sale happened, there's another sale that happened with Xcopy about 24 to 48 hours ago, which was a really big sale. I think that was $900,000 or something crazy. And it kind of lit a fire in all these kind of lower available pieces. Now, Afterburn is a Nifty Gateway piece that originally sold for $1,000. I believe there's 870 of them. It's a multi-edition piece. You can see these ones slowly starting to get bought up. 4,000 in the last 24 hours. It looks like there's been 4 plus 4, 8 or 9 sales of Afterburn. If we open up this page on Nifty Gateway, you can see, let's kind of open up, how do I open up the page? So let's just go over here. Starting to see a lot more activity in art, guys. Xcopy traders. The way I kind of invest in Nifty Gateway, you guys have probably seen my portfolio, seen me kind of make my investments, but every time there is a bit of activity, and I love to see activity like this, right? It gives me an indication as to what's going to happen. There's definitely going to be art that sells in the NFT world that is that will compare to real world art. In the real world, art has sold for tens of millions of dollars. I don't see any reason why that will not happen in the NFT world. When that starts to happen with, say, XCopy's art, for example, what's going to happen with the people that can't afford those one-of-ones? They're going to come and look for the multi-editions. And so seeing that sort of ripple effect gives me indication that, you know, this is going to happen with Afterburn. So the last 24 hours has been 9 sales. You can see if you go here, you kind of listed by the lowest price. There's still another 4 left at $4,000. Now, if tomorrow again there's 8 sales, that's going to bump the floor price to $5,000-ish. The day after there's another 8 sales, it's going to bump it to, you know, 8,000 to 9,000. If that continues, hypothetically, if that continues for about a week or two sustainably, you know, we could see a $10,000, $15,000 XCopy floor. So what I try and see is volume coming in, and whether that volume is sustainable based on what is driving that volume. What's driving this volume is XCopy sales of these single editions. Obviously, XCopy is one of many artists. There's many artists you can check out that this happens to. But it gives you an indication as how the kind of economics of this industry works. Yes, you can use Ethereum with Nifty Gateway. Read below, Maddie. Anyone else invested in Robotos? No, I have not looked at that. Eminem, Paul, Blau are investors in what, Moss? Really? Wait. Looks like, well, I haven't done my research. Eminem, Paul Rosenberg, Blau, investors in Maker's Place. Oh, that's right. He bought the BTC from the Silk Road auction. So Silk Road, yeah, interesting. He bought the BTC from Silk Road auction. There's a very deep and rich history with how Bitcoiners in the early Bitcoiners made their money. Obviously, Bitcoin back in the day was under $1 or 30 cents, 10 cents, almost valueless when people were experimenting with it, not really thinking that it was going to be big. And, you know, from the, what are those twins called? Winklevoss, from the Winklevoss twins owning 1% of Bitcoin and getting tipped off at the beach to buy Bitcoin, from Tim Draper buying it at an auction, to Barry Silbert accumulating it 3% of it with DCG. You know, there's a very rich history over the last 10 years of how that early money was made, which now is worth a lot of money, and a lot of that money comes and fuels the NFT space, or the early crypto space, sorry, the early NFT space. And now we're seeing that money come in from multiple sources, not just crypto, also fiat. Yeah. All right. So that is XCopy art. I think I've mentioned XCopy twice in a row now with my video, so I'm not going to talk about him much anymore. Now, Logan Paul got offered 630K for his favorite CryptoPunk. Should I sell? Logan Paul, pretty much known now to have blown up the Pokemon world. I think, you know, Pokemon cards saw a massive surge in value and in trade activity because Logan Paul and influencers like him started to buy and sell them, right? They started to invest in them heavily, very heavily, and they made their money from YouTube and investing and all that sort of stuff. Now, there is a huge investor community with influencers and YouTubers. With NFTs, imagine if that activity comes to the NFT world, and it surely will, because look at the money that can be made with NFTs. Logan Paul used to open up Charizards and be like, wow, this is worth $100,000. It's worth $150,000, which is huge, right? It's big money. But CryptoPunks, like, it's literally worth $5 million. An ape is worth $5 million plus. It recently sold for $5 million plus. An alien punk, I think, sold for 10 or $15 million or something. There is so much money to be made with NFTs. I don't see why, and I'm seeing this where, from Gary V to maybe even Logan Paul to whoever it is that has a big audience, I'm seeing them go from experimenting with the NFT space to getting heavily involved with not just experimenting, but putting a lot of capital and shifting or pivoting their whole career to the NFT space, because they're realizing there's so much money to be made here. And it's fun. There's money to be made. There's games, there's collectibles, there's art, there's fun to be had. And it's just starting to be a no-brainer transition to people, right? The obsessiveness is hard to fight. I've gone from being involved from e-commerce to affiliate to engineering in the early days, to now being obviously full-time focused on NFTs. So that's an interesting thing happening. I pull this up just to show you guys that, you know, this is the start. These are the signals or the start of an indication to the next wave, the next NFT wave happening. I think we could be at a time where the draw has been. Oh, nice. Okay. We'll go through that tomorrow. Michael's got Pokemon cards in the top drawer. Okay, everyone's bringing their Pokemon cards now. All right, so there was 160 entrants this time, guys. Congrats to JG Elias. You won a CURIO card. So congrats to you, man. Michael will get in touch with you, or you can get in touch with Michael or Agent M, and we'll get that to you later. We've given away a Vogu, guys. We've also given away a Astro Friend. Again, every single day, we are going to keep giving away stuff, right? It's a fun way to educate you guys on NFTs. It's a fun way for me to interact with my audience. All right, so we've gone through Bored Apes. We've gone throh Pranksy crying about Bored Apes and him selling it. That's about it for the news that I have. Let's answer some questions. Oh, one thing I wanted to go through is art blocks. Art blocks, guys, is blowing up. It is blowing up, and if you don't know what art blocks is, don't worry, neither do I. It's been a very difficult way. It's been a very difficult, you know, this stuff doesn't come to me easily, although I do get involved with art and stuff, right? When I got into art, guys, I didn't know how to invest in art. I didn't even know what brings value to art. I never knew that. I actually watched some videos on traditional art investing to kind of realize or try and get a feel for why there is some value there. And then after buying some NFTs or after buying some art NFTs is when I really truly found out how it works, right? So sometimes you can only learn by putting your money with towards certain investments, whether it be stock or NFTs or whatever it is. When you part with your money, you're invested, you kind of have no choice but to learn it, right? So that's how I learned the art world. Now there is this, not new, it's been here for a while, creativity in generative design. So it's generated art that's 100% stored on Ethereum blockchain. So I believe that artists can put through a script that generates an art type. So there's 600 of these art pieces minted, and you can mint them and buy them, and these may go on to be quite valuable. Now, I say this because you go to OpenSea, you go to art blocks. Wait, it's called art block, right? Can't find it there. Maybe go to rankings. Check this out. Art blocks curated, art blocks playground is doing insane volume. So 12,000 volume in the last 7 days. I believe this is 7 days volume. 12,000 ETH in volume is, I think, what is that? What's 12,000 ETH in volume? Is that 30 million? Yeah. That's 30 million USD that's traded over $33 million that's traded over the last 7 days. So when something makes that much money, that's when I kind of investigate to see, well, what the heck is going on here, right? Click on this, you click activity, you can kind of see the sales that are happening. Now the sales that are happening are not cheap, guys. Some of these 13.7 ETH, 6.4 ETH, these squiggles, so Chromie squiggles going for 6.5, 3.9 ETH, and you're probably like, Maddie, why are squiggles going for 4 Ethereum, 5 Ethereum? It sounds absurd, right? It sounds absurd. But is it? Again, if you go back to art blocks, which I keep losing myself with these tabs, let's go to gallery view. Oh no, wait. Okay, so Chromie Squiggle, I believe, is Project Zero, the first ever art project to be released in on art blocks, right? So again, the first always has value. Now there's 10,000 of these. There's 10,000 of these, pretty much. These are not as scarce as, oh my god, they were 0.035 at the start. So they have 100x. They're 100 to 200x, some of these. Made by the founder, I believe, of Art Blocks, who's Snowfro. So Snowfro made Art Blocks, I believe, which it says here, founder of Art Blocks. And this is his first project that he's put here. And his art pieces are now selling for 4 to 5 ETH per piece. Is there a way to see? Is there a way to see exactly how that's all of them that are selling? I'm not sure if there is. Oh wait, yep, visit gallery. So basically, these are squiggles that are generated through his script. So that's the script P5.js, which is run through, and it's generated all these art squiggles, which are now worth a ton of money because they've been minted on the blockchain, and they're the first of the Art Blocks project. Now, these aren't the only ones that are going for a lot of value. I think what I'll do is tomorrow or the day after, I'm going to try and get someone that understands Art Blocks really well. And we will talk about, Art Blocks in depth as to how it works and what brings value to it, because it's a very, very interesting project. It is, sometimes things, you just cannot understand them, but you have to dig deep to try and understand them. And I did this with the art world. And we've all done it with the NFT space, which sometimes it's clicked for some of us. For some of us, we'd have to try a bit harder to try and understand what's going on. But it's definitely worth it if you can obviously see activity in a community and financial backing, etc. With Axie Infinity as well, right? With Axie Infinity, I didn't like the game when I looked at it. I was watching the game and I was like, this looks really not fun. But it was doing decent. The community was existing for a year, 2 years, 3 years. I had to investigate. So I downloaded the game. I played the game. I forced myself to learn it. After 3-4 days, I started to fall in love with the game. I started to understand the strategy. And then I totally understood the different areas to invest in Axie Infinity. So usually I take a weekend or a couple of weekends to dive deep and really understand what's going on. And once it clicks, then it clicks, right? If those few weekends can make you potentially tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of dollars, it's absolutely worth it. So yeah, I think we'll try and bring someone to the show. I haven't done this yet where I've brought someone to the show to explain certain things. I think we're going to start doing that because it'll be interesting and valuable to everyone, right? I know certain industries, some industries I'm still new to. So Art Blocks is one of those that I think it'll be worth for me to bring someone in to talk about. So let's kind of answer some questions, guys. We've had 147 people here at the moment. Pretty cool. What else? Any questions do we have? You guys want me to talk about anything? I just flipped my first NFT ever today. A crazy lizard. It was really hard to give it away. Yep. Sometimes you sell something and then you instantly regret it because it just, oh, B20 looking great. Is it? B20. That is interesting. Let's quickly check out B20. B20 being the token that backs, that is backed by 20 single edition pieces of Beeple. So this one is pretty much correlated with Beeple's career. The better Beeple does in his career, the more this token is worth. There was a time where this token was worth $20 a piece, and that was the day of Beeple's sale. And obviously, it fell big time after that, because no one can sustain a hype of $69 million for an art sale. So that's kind of, this graph is indicative of what hype does, guys. Project might not be bad, but the timing of you getting invested in that project might be bad. So you might invest somewhere here, right? The project you chose was not bad. It was just too hyped at your time of investment if you invested this time. So sometimes it's worth really just going slow. So some projects have just a very slow progression of growth, right? It's like slow progression of growth. Some spike really high, and sometimes it might be worth, even though there's so much FOMO involved, it might be worth just to let it drop a bit and let it find its feet and let people forget about it, and then reanalyze it a few months, 6 months later to see if there's any validity and you really taking a proper investment in it. This is what happened to many crypto projects in 2017. We saw a massive boom and a huge fall. As we can go through some real quick. I know it happened with XRP, where we saw this massive peak. Again, see, 2017, we saw a massive peak, And this is one of the reasons why we saw a bear market, in the sense of, you know, crypto kind of crashed and people forgot about it because it was way too hype, right? People were spending so much money back then. 4 years ago, we didn't have any of this NFT stuff to this level. We didn't have any products. We didn't have Uniswap. We didn't have anyone actually using blockchain. We just had great ideas and great landing pages and people saying they're going to do this and that. And that's why a lot of this money came in. But, you know, 2-3 months later, 6 months later, nothing was happening. People kind of left and the value wasn't able to sustain. So B20 looks like it's gone the same way. Will it have a resurgence? It might. It should, if the art world picks up again. Shout out to my friend Maddie. Thanks, man. Shout out to you, Joe Ma. I own 4 lizards, gave one away for 5x today. I need to check out this lizard thing. Okay, let's check out lizards real quickly. I have heard a couple of things about it. I don't know what you guys are talking about, TBH. So this is brand new. Is it crazy lizard army? Is it crazy lizard army? Is that what you guys are talking about? These look pretty cool. Got to admit, they do look pretty cool. Let's check out the activity. Avatar projects are cool, guys. I'm a big, whoa, shit. Okay, this is pretty frequent activity. 0.25, 0.28. Looks like they're going off. Very, very interesting. Normally when I see this stuff, I join the community, I ask some questions, I see how serious they are, I try and see who the founder is, I see what their plans are to build out the project. How old are they? They're only 5-7 days old, so it looks like they got some time to prove themselves as a legitimate project. But at this stage, guys, you just don't know which avatar project is going to build out a sick community. If Bored Apes can do it, I can guarantee you that Bored Apes is not going to be the only one. CryptoPunks wasn't the only one. Bored Apes came with a great community and people investing in it. They're not going to be the only one. There's millions and millions of people, potentially billions of people that will come to the NFT space. You can imagine there's going to be thousands of avatar projects that will be legitimate. We're seeing the model being experimented with, right? That model will be replicated and it's just going to be everywhere. Avatar projects are great. They're definitely going to be the industry moving forward. It's which ones are going to be integral to a community that will value those avatar projects, right? Which ones will stay there holding those avatars when a new avatar project comes out. If Pokemon comes out and it says, hey, we're going to release an avatar project, which other avatar project that exists before it will have people that will still hold their avatars instead of selling them and running off to Pokemon? You see what I mean? So those are the ones that I want to find. And I think a lot of that comes with just experimenting with different projects and also being part of that community. That's why I'm part of Astro Friends, which very quickly, let me just check what's going on with Astro Friends. This one's been a slow and steady kind of progression of activity, but it's been consistent, just slow and steady. Floor being 0.25 now. Some of these going for 1 Ethereum. This one going for 1 Ethereum. I believe the ones with like this kind of helmet with a cloud in it are going for a decent coin. This one says 420 on it. I believe these are rare, so if you go to the properties, you can check out the rarity. There's only 1% that have this 420 smoked out look. If you sort by the cheapest, then you can see that the cheapest one is 0.85, 0.83, 111. So very quickly, if Astro Friends keeps doing well, if people keep investing in these, then it looks like the floor will keep bumping up for the 421. Now, there's many other rare Astro Friends, like there is probably rare lizards, and once you do your research, you know what to invest in. Do I think photography NFTs is going to be the next boom? I think it could be, because we have seen this project, Twin Flames, I believe they're called. Twin Flames. Yep, this one right here. Wait, is it this one? No, not this one. This one here, which is by the same person. Looks like he has 2 different projects going on. I actually thought photography would not do well. And the reason why I thought that is because when you take photographs, usually you have 1,000 photographs of the same thing, right? Because it's just, you can take a photo with a click. So why, I take hundreds of photos when I take pictures of my baby or pictures of, certain moments. We take 10, 20 pictures of the same thing. There's multiple angles. So I actually didn't think photography would do that well. This has been one of the projects that has blown me away. check out the sales that have been happening. Okay, they're not that frequent. There's like 1 or 2 a day, but look at the sale amount: 69 ETH, 49 ETH, 55 ETH. You know, it's been going up quite steadily. In the early days, it looks like it was selling for average price of 2 Ethereum, 6 ETH, and now it's kind of blowing up. So do I think photography is going to be the next wave? I think photography, it might not be the next big wave, but it might be one of the industries that find its feet in the NFT space, and be part of it. So avatar projects did that in the last 2-3 months, where we had a massive surge of them. Some of them went on to be Bored Apes, etc. I think photography will be one of those projects that will come in and find its feet in the NFT industry. There's been some experiments with photography. This one obviously shows that there is a demand for it. Now, you know, we just gotta see more photographers come to the space and more collectors of photos come to the space and value these. What do I think about Dystopian Punks V2? Are those, is that an alt punk project? I haven't looked at many of those. What about OG CURIOs? Yeah, they're pretty, they're going to do really well. Do you think number 420 Astro Friends is worth buying and will pump because of the number? I think it's not the number that will pump it. I think it's the scarcity. I think again, this is dependent on the Astro Friend project, right? If that project does well, then some of the scarcity ones will go up even higher in value. I think, yeah, the number 420 has always been a special number with internet communities. Surprise, surprise. So I think the rarity combined with the number, I think will make it do well if the project does well. The story behind Twin Flames is pretty powerful. Andrew, I would love to know opinion about crypto Venetians with art blocks. First in real life mint experience.
Yeah, that was.
I have to look at that. I don't know. I think we definitely need an art blocks expert to come in and tell us a lot about art blocks and generative art. Michael says it was really cool.
Yeah.
So Michael knows.
Gallery book appointments to go to the gallery. Oh.
There you go. A real world application and connection. So a gallery in Venice where you could mint a real world. Was it a digital avatar?
Yeah.
Or it was generated?
Yeah. But you had to like book an appointment, come in physically to generate it for the appointment.
Right. There you go. I think there's going to be a lot of digi-physical connections that NFTs will work with will make with the real world. But that's a great. I'd love to know more about that story. So again, we will bring someone from the art block scene to the space, to the live stream once we figure out how to do it. Have I seen Punk's comics? I have kept an eye on it. I have kept in touch here and there with the founder of the Punk's comics. It's very cool what they're doing. They did a really cool experiment recently where they bought, I believe, was it a punk that they bought, or they bought a an art piece or something, and then they sharded it in the sense of they fractionalized it. They broke it up into maybe 100,000 ERC20 tokens, and they airdropped it to their punk holders. I thought that was really cool. This is kind of where DeFi meets NFTs, where you see these fun experiments. Shout out to them. I think they're doing a great job. Check out Parallel. Illuvium thoughts. Illuvium has done really well. I went through it in my last stream. I think it's going to pick up just based on, some of these projects have been on the download just steadily building. But once a YouTuber finds them and starts talking about them, that's when they kind of blow up. Any look at Cypher City? No, not yet. My thoughts on Dystopian Punks, man, I haven't even looked at that yet. Wonder Quest looks like it blew up on Wonder Quest looks like it blew up on Decentraland. I saw a ton of people sharing. Maybe you guys can hear this, maybe you can't, but they had I think she performed live in Decentraland. Alice in Wonderland, which is her project, who's a musician with a ton of followers that came in to perform live. I hope you guys can hear this because the music was pretty epic. You can see everyone in her robe. So those that own the Meta key, they got airdropped a robe. That robe will now be a ticket to her clubs from now onwards. So again, if you own the Meta key, these are the people that we're working with. Whoever comes to the space who are big, that want to do big things, we're hooking in with them and saying, hey guys, do you want to do an airdrop to the Meta key owners? and that's what we're doing. The next MetaKey edition number 4, which will be priced at 0.2 Ethereum, should be dropped in the next 2 to 4 weeks, guys. So keep your eyes on that. I will give you guys plenty of heads up before that drops. But again, you know, the MetaKey is our project. It's a way for, if you own the MetaKey, then anyone that comes my way, whether it be Coca-Cola, whether it be, who knows, Elon Musk, or whoever it be, I try and find something to give to the MetaKey owners, whether it be NFTs, whether it be access to their projects, a discount, whatever it may be. It's a project where we're trying to build hundreds of use cases to one MetaKey. So if you own it, ideally, in the lifetime of 10, 20, 30 years, 50 years that we have operating for, you'll have a ton of iconic stuff. You will have tons of things you can do with it, take it to games, it'll transform into different items, so all that sort of stuff. So the Wonder Quest seems to have blown up. I've heard a lot of good things about it. You know, this is her first performance. This is her first kind of experience in Decentraland. Well, that's a ton of people. So I think she's got this kind of a church thing. She's performing here. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. You know, she's not going to be the first. She's not going to be the last. Looks like a bit of a cult. I love these robes. They're so cool. And this is what the metaverse is for, right? The virtual world, the virtual existence is where your fans, your people, your tribe, your community, they exist online. They transition seamlessly from Decentraland to crypto, you know, from Somnium Space to Sandbox. You take your assets with you, and that's a very big pivotal moment for the metaverse concept, is you can take your assets, your ownership, your money with you. And that's what a digital wallet allows you to do. Your NFTs allow you to do, is you take, you know, your 10,000 mana from one project to the other project. You take your pet from one project to the other project, and that interoperability where you're playing different games, you're in different spaces, you have different friends in different communities. This is where the metaverse is starting to come alive and starting to connect. So, you know, there's definitely going to be more of this. In fact, the reason why I went very heavy with a lot of the early weekend art, so the Weeknd, the singer, the musician, sold art pieces on Nifty Gateway, right? He sold thousands of them. I went pretty heavy in thinking that in the future, one day, there'll be the Weeknd performing in Decentraland, the Weeknd performing in the digital world, and he'll be like, well, if you own my NFTs, then that's a ticket to my club. So I think musicians will do that. I think there may be an opportunity to do that with some of the art pieces now. That's a big assumption on my side, on my end. I'm seeing signals of that may be happening now. Whether or not the Weeknd does that is up to him, right? So that's again, like, NFTs are not just art pieces. They can be tickets, they can be pets, the same NFT, guys. I'm not talking about different NFTs. The same NFT that's an art piece can be a pet, that can be a ticket to somewhere else, and brand owners or musicians or artists or people like me, founders, can build that utility over time. They can add to that NFT, which originally may have started as an art piece, but isn't just an art piece anymore. Chain Guardians, feel free to shout us out. What's up, Chain Guardians? Good project. Shout out to you guys. I do know your team. You guys are awesome. In discussing the evolution of NFT and DeFi, yep, I know you guys are doing something. I think it's a gamified version of DeFi, so it'll be very cool to see what you guys have a statement here. Okay, empowering digital asset holders the ability to stake their NFTs for on-chain rewards. There you go. Wonder Quest floor price is only 0.04. So Wonder Quest, again, that was the event. I believe I could just keep talking. I could do this stream all day, guys. Wonder Quest, I think she sold dragons or dragon eggs. Yeah, dragon eggs. And they were hatched. They look pretty sick, actually. That's pretty cool. Are they all hatched, Michael?
So you can choose whether to hatch them or not. It's basically like an unopened pack moment.
Okay.
So as of yesterday, you can hatch them. So you can open the pack and generate the dragon with the traits of difference, or you can leave it as an for value.
Right.
Pack.
Okay, right. So it's a generative avatar-ish project for the dragons.
Yeah.
So are the dragons pets in Decentraland, or like are they supposed to do something?
No, not yet.
Not yet.
She's got a roadmap where she wants to like gamify dragons
Nice.
in various ways, but
Very cool.
Still a bit vague.
Right. So if you guys don't know who Alice in Wonderland is, here's a profile. Check her out.
Awesome.
great girl. We have talked to her before on a stream. We did an interview with her. She airdropped the Medikey holders. She airdropped people in Decentraland, and obviously she's doing stuff in TCL, getting very serious with the NFT space. Has her own generative project, which is way ahead of any musician or any art brand that has come into the space. Already having all that in the space. So it looks like she's gone pretty hardcore at getting deeply involved in the NFT space. So I am yet to look deeply at this project, Dragons of Wonder Quest, but we are in touch on behalf of the Medikey team. So it'd be cool to see how they go. If she continues to do this, is what I want to see from artists entering the space. Is they don't just drop an art or a project, they stay in the space, give their time to the space. Her performing in Decentraland is a big deal. Her going on to start performing and run interviews and start to be a kind of pioneer or someone who talks about NFTs and pushes the NFT education out there and brings, is so immersed and is pretty much doing a career shift into the way her e-commerce part of her business works. That's what I want to see. So it's great to see not only her project doing well, but her going into this space quite deeply. Steve Aoki. I don't know how to say that name, but I do know who he is. I'm just going to say Steve. So Steve already giving free entry for his NFT holders. There you go. So Simon says that Steve is giving free entry for his NFT holders. So if you don't know Steve, you do know that I'll show you what he's done on NFT Gateway, but he came and dropped some art a while back. There we go, Steve. I think he's done a solo drop. He did an open edition, which made a ton of money. Holy crap, I didn't know he had this much art, actually. This one, open edition. Nope. There's one open edition he did. It could have been the Dreamcatcher. This one? Nope. Okay. When I can't find it there, I usually just go to Crypto Art Pulse and find it there. But anyway, he's got an open mint edition where you can buy his art. It looks like this one is an open mint as well, but he is a massive artist, and it looks like he's giving free entry to people that own his NFT, which is a big deal. That is, if you think about Nifty Gateway, right? Nifty Gateway started with minting art, open editions, closed editions, but getting artists, big name artists to come and drop art. Now, at some point, the editions got so big and it became unsustainable where people were buying millions of dollars worth of art, trying to flip them straight away. There was way more flippers and long-term holders. The crash was inevitable in the sense of people kind of realizing they can't flip and the flippers moving away, which was the bulk of their volume, realistically. Now, Nifty Gateway aren't just going to forfeit the towel. They will keep going on, and it totally makes sense for them to talk to their artists and say, hey, why don't we work on you guys doing more for the industry? Why don't we work on you guys having some performance, adding more utility to the NFTs? And that's how I think, and moving forward, they've tweaked their model a little bit moving forward, where you have to own some NFTs to be eligible for the next drop, stuff like that. But I think utility / different strategy to drops going forward is what's going to play and accelerate the next wave of art coming in. So there may be opportunity to going back and revisiting some of the art that was dropped in the early days of Nifty Gateway and maybe purchasing them. Who knows? Yeah, I might go take a look. Any look at V Empire just yet? No. Has a reward system. Steve has a reward system based on points that you get for NFTs. In the highest tier, you can visit him at his house. There you go. Access. People have access. Gary V has his NFTs selling for 4 to 5 ETH. Some of his NFTs are selling for 30 Ethereum plus, and all of his NFTs are just access to him, right? People want time from people that are famous, whether they be famous entrepreneurs, whether they be famous musicians, and all that. Now we're at 10:10, and I think we should end the stream, but it's been a great stream, guys. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment below, let me know on Twitter what you guys want me to talk about. Join the Discord, more importantly. Remember, in the Medikey Discord is where we continue to have conversations about NFTs, in NFT strategies, always popping about all this NFT talk. and the next NFT projects coming in. So make sure if you're in the Discord, you join and you check out NFT strategy. You keep involved in the conversation. That's how you get in touch with things like that early. Now, this is the MetaKey Discord is one of many. So make sure you kind of explore around and get involved in many conversations. It's been good, guys. Make sure you tune in tomorrow, same time. I don't know what I'll talk about, but I think we'll move along with move along to certain different topics. So we've covered art blocks. I think we may cover that a bit deeper, but we may look at instead of art, let's look at blockchain gaming or something, right? So I'll have some stuff prepared for you tomorrow. It's been fun. I'll catch you guys tomorrow, and take care of yourselves. See you soon.